Thanks, Steve. Okay, how's everyone doing today? Great? Yeah? Oh, I'm glad you guys are so energetic because it's been a very long day. All right, so before I close, I just want to talk to you guys about myself. So, why did I pursue engineering? Well, actually, I didn't really pursue engineering. I didn't even know I liked engineering. At first, I was like, I just like building stuff. I like puzzles, and I like electricity. I didn't even know that was engineering. But as Steve said, it wasn't until my junior year in high school that I actually really wanted to do engineering. And that's when I figured out I wanted to go to college. So I took an electronics course, and we built like this alarm for a model house that we had. And it was really cool because it made sounds and it beeped. So beyond that, I always wanted to know how things work. So I would take things apart and wouldn't put them back together, and they stopped working. So does anyone have that feeling too, of taking things apart and wondering how they work? All right. Do you guys put them back together too? That's okay. All right. Don't worry, it doesn't have to go back together unless your parents get mad at you. So what inspired me to be an engineer? Well, beyond that course, it was, astronauts, and I really like NASA stuff too. Like how do rockets work? How do aerodynamics work? So you guys just learned that today while building these turbines. So along those interests, I enrolled myself at KCC after figuring all these things out. And I did several projects there that I'm really happy about, as well as projects here. So one of them that Steve mentioned was an international competition among other universities, while we were the only two-year university. And it was pretty cool. So we got to build something called a CanSat. So that's a canister satellite competition. So basically, you would build a glider, and you add these sensors to it, and it glides through the atmosphere. So you got to shoot it off in a really big rocket. And so if you look here, the bottom middle picture, so that's us in Texas. So we actually got to put it into a rocket, which I don't have a picture of, sorry. But yeah, it was pretty cool. And then another project that I worked on was a thing called MicroGeneX. So that's another NASA project. So if you see on the top left, your left? Yeah, top left, sorry. So for that competition, we had to build an astronaut anchor. So can you imagine an astronaut floating away in space? I can't, but apparently you need an anchor for it. So that was a challenge, something we got to build. So astronauts float away in low microgravity, so that's why it was called MicroGeneX. And we got to go to an astronaut swimming pool. So does anyone know what an astronaut swimming pool is? Can someone tell me? How about you in there in the back?
It's where they don spacesuits and test what it's like to be somewhere.
Yes, exactly. And in the swimming pool, they have a replica of the International Space Station. So astronauts actually get to feel the distance between each corridor and where they have to go. And so if you look at this picture right here, the bottom left, so we couldn't actually go in the swimming pool ourselves. We actually had to talk to the diver who was testing our anchor in the swimming pool. So me and my friend Jonathan, who were on the same team, we had to go and direct, and it was really hard. Can you imagine only getting instructions through your headset, and you'd have no idea how this device works? So that was pretty cool, and also frustrating. So, I just, after, telling you about myself, I just want to encourage you guys that, you guys can pretty much do whatever you want. You're only limited by your imaginations. And especially you girls out there, I know that you think you're not smart enough, some boys too, but you are actually really, really smart. It's just that you have to try really, really hard. I know I had to try really, really hard too. I'm gonna tell you a secret, but you can't tell anyone. I couldn't do multiplication in 3rd grade. Yeah. So I had to work really, really hard to get where I am today. Can you imagine I have to do like algebra and calculus? Oh my gosh, it's so hard. Anyway, so I hope you guys had a lot of fun today, and I just wanted to let you know you shouldn't be discouraged, because I set things on fire in our lab all the time. And things are meant to catch on fire, but then you put them out and then you rebuild it and then it starts working. So, I mean, you just end up being lucky, but anyway, so I hope you guys had fun here today. I think that if you guys haven't tested your second design, there's the back table still open if you guys still want to test it. Anyway, so I just want to thank all of you for being here today, and I'm so glad you guys had fun, and I know it was a super long day, and if you guys have any questions, feel free to ask any one of us engineering students. All right, thank you.